live. So, good afternoon, evening, morning, wherever you're watching, however you're watching, to another Motivation Monday. You might be thinking to yourself, Brandon, you're sitting in the wrong seat. Actually, just kidding. You're probably thinking, who is this person beside me? This is our guest. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Alex. Am I supposed to say anything else about myself?
You can say whatever you want. Like, who are you as a person? Are you into fitness?
Okay, yeah, so I'm 23 and I was competing until I dislocated my shoulder. So I'm not competing, but I was into bodybuilding. Not what I plan on doing with my career. I did my undergrad in law actually, which is very different. But like those are the two things I'm passionate about are like health and fitness and then law. So one's fun, one's also fun, but less so.
Well, that's actually why I brought you on here, because I saw you at the gym working out with a dislocated shoulder. And she just comes in with the strap on and she's just doing one arm pull-ups. Like, it's nobody's business. So, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Kudos.
I wish that was the first time I went to the gym with injured something. I remember when I was in grade 10, I actually broke my foot. And I did the same thing because I am not good at being idle. So I just went with my crutches. I had to get, like, I think 4 or 5 different casts because I would try to walk on it. But, like, a foot's broken. You can do so much. You have you have 2 more hands, another foot.
Exactly.
I had 1 other arm, 2 other feet. There's a lot of options.
There is. And I just want to say, like, off camera, Travis's jaw just, like, dropped at the mention of, like, you breaking your foot and still walking on it.
Yeah. My doctors also, they had the same. They were assisted, mind you. But
Still
yeah, no, my doctors weren't happy. But, like, you know, after 2 weeks, I'm like, I need to start walking. So it's, like, the same thing right now. If you saw me at the gym, you might laugh. But we're getting there. I'm very stubborn. I guess I don't know. It's what makes me happy. So I don't want to stop.
Exactly.
I don't know where to look. I'm like...
It's okay. You can look at the camera, you can look at us, you can look at him, you can look over there at the dog. We have a dog in here.
I look over there and I see myself, so I'm just
Yeah, 2 of the screens have your face on.
Yeah, that's okay though. Travis, did you want to interject here with a quote of the day?
If I can do this without knocking everything off the desk.
Let's see what we can do here.
Okay, keeping in line with struggles make us stronger, our quote of the day is, strength and growth come only through continuous effort and struggle. Napoleon Hill.
That's a beautiful reading voice.
That was.
So basically, to reiterate, strength and growth come only through continuous effort and struggle. It just basically means, in other words, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, pretty much. And I'm pretty sure we've all been through those moments where if you look back at it and say, well, okay, that really hurt, either emotionally, physically, financially, whatever situation you're in, and then you learn from it, you grow from it, and you got better, and then ultimately you become the person you are today because of that struggle.
Yeah,
so,
I resonate with that a lot, so yeah.
Did you want to talk about any particular struggles that you might have gone through during either your law career or your fitness career?
I mean, I can talk about how I got into fitness.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
really into... Well, how I got into bodybuilding. I've always been into fitness, but, like, the more intense version of fitness, not just kind of going to the gym, but, like, actually going and making changes, both mentally and physically. So, like, growing up, I was always, I don't know, like, athletic. Like, that's just, I think, genetics. Like, my mom, like, teaches aerobics and stuff. She's also like a prosecutor, so that's probably where I got both of those things from. And then my dad was like a cowboy, so that's whatever. But no, so I've always been into like working out. I remember my first boyfriend in high school was like a hockey player or whatever, so we'd like go work out together. But I was just kind of like, I'd work out, but I ate terribly. Like I had really bad habits. My mental health was not fantastic.
Right.
I've always had, for as long as I can remember, like since I was 11 probably, I've struggled with a lot of anxiety and like depression, and like I like sugarcoat that, but like I was diagnosed with a lot of things by a lot of different doctors, and I placed a lot of my dependence on like happiness on like my significant other at the time. And then I kind of realized like I was still not happy, like underlying. And I think I was on 6 or 7 different medications. Like I was on like Adderall, lorazepam, Seroquel, Cymbalta. I don't even know because they kept just like cycling me through stuff. And I'm like, I really don't think there's like that much wrong with me, but they just kept like prescribing stuff. So then I would have like manic episodes, and I would, and like, anyways, one day I was like, I can't be like, I had to break up with him because I was like, I need to just figure out how to be happy and like whatever. And this is not like, I didn't start working out. I actually just started binge drinking and having a really good time with my friends. Because I was like 20, 21, I don't know. I was like, I just want to have like fun. And that downward spiraled, and I ended up actually being in the hospital. It wasn't the first time, but things happen, and like I just had to be hospitalized, and that was really like not great. And I'm a very extreme person, so I got there, and then like, because if you're manic, you're like really into it, and I have a very like impulsive personality. So anyways, when I'm in it, I'm like 110% in, but once I'm over it. So I was in the hospital, I'm like, I just want to get out, like I'm bored now, like I'm not having fun anymore. I guess it's not fun anyways. But then I was like, I need to make some changes, because clearly like I can't be happy with someone, I can't be happy without someone, and like you get like an overwhelming feeling of sadness. I don't really know how to explain it. And then so when you engage in any type of behavior, you release like endorphins, and it makes you like be able to breathe basically. And so like I would revert to like bad habits before. And so anyways, when I got released, I was like, I need to like fix something, or else like I'm not gonna have like a career, I'm not gonna be able to like, anyways. So I was like, I cut out everything. I cut out drinking, I cut out like any type of like partying, I cut out fast foods, I cut out like everything, because I was like, something is like not right. I stopped most of my medication too, which I probably shouldn't have, because it says don't do that without a doctor. Whatever. And then so anyways, I started going to the gym too, because it kind of goes hand in hand, like more seriously. I started going to the gym, and again, like when I do something, I do it 110%. So I would go, and I never ran. I hated running. I'm strong. I'm not good at endurance. And I was like, okay, well I might as well start running too, and lifting weights. I don't know. I just wanted to try things out. And I realized you would get the same high basically that you would like if you were to like binge eat, or if you were to like hurt yourself or whatever. You get the same release of endorphins once, like at first the first 20 minutes of cardio suck. Same with like lifting weight. Really, like it's hard to get in, it's not enjoyable, but after you hit like your second win, it's an actual thing, and you feel so good. And then, so I would do this. I would get like really emotionally overwhelmed, and I'd run. And I really don't like running. I'd run till I feel sick. And after, though, I would feel so good. So then, I'd go to the gym like twice a day. I'd be there all the time. And people started coming up to me and being like, oh, like, do you like compete? Do you do this? Do you do that? And hearing that like externally, I was kind of motivated to like push myself even further. So at that point, I started like researching more like training styles and like progressive overloads, and like educating myself really on it, and as well as the mental health part. Like I wanted to see what, I'm a very like why based person, so when I see like results, I like to know like cause and effect, and I like to know what chemicals are being like, you know, played with. Anyways, so probably like 3 months into like fully going to the gym every day, like not having any alcohol, not having anything, I just kind of realized, like, I took myself off all my medication and I stopped going to my psychiatrist, which sounds like something like someone's not supposed to do.
Yeah.
But in my case, I honestly was so internally motivated that, like, it made me so happy. I've never, like, for as long as I can remember, I don't remember ever actually being, like, at peace with myself. And it just made me really happy. Like, I really liked who, like, I was. I was very self-destructive before, and when I could focus my energy towards something in that same, like, kind of manic way, though, again, like, I'm just taking my bad, like, habits and turning them into good, and I don't know, I just realized it made me really happy. And again, things happen, but if you could focus, like, you can't be in control of a lot that happens in your life, like, you really can't, like, I think that's, a lot of people struggle with that, and I think that's what causes a lot of stress. But for me, like, I know I can be in control of, like, what I can do. I can show up to the gym. I can go do, like, those 30 minutes. Like, even if I don't want to, I can make myself do it. I can I can't control how other people act. I can't control how I feel necessarily about it, but what I can control is like those external factors that can lead to like me being happy. So like, for example, when quarantine or whatever started, I know a lot of people became really depressed, and I think I saw it as an opportunity to focus on myself, because I used to be very go because I like to be overstimulated, and I was like, well, like now I'm not out of the house from 4:30 to 10:30. Like I leave literally at 4:30 in the morning to train, and then work from 7:30 to 4:30, and then work again. Anyways, I was like, this is perfect. So I flew out to BC and trained with an athletic company there. But I remember throughout all of this, because I'm very like upbeat now, and I really wasn't before. And people are like, how are you staying like so motivated? And I'm honestly like, you can't look. I think people who are internally motivated are gonna do a lot better than looking for motivation externally, because once you're doing it just for yourself and you actually acknowledge that it's for yourself, I think that's when it actually like makes like that change in who you are as a person, your lifestyle and everything. And so when I dislocated my shoulder at the gym, ironically, that was great, I was very like disheartened, I guess, because like I eat very like clean as well. Just that goes hand in hand with bodybuilding, and I'm just very aware of my like macros and whatever. And I was like, well, now I have nothing to work towards, and I was kind of just like, and they like said it'd take like 6 months to a year for like full like strength and mobility at least, if that. And I'm like, yeah, don't show me that. That's gonna like. Oh, so then I'm like, so for like 2 days after. Well, the next day I was really bad because I was just, like, out of it and tired, and I was sad, and I, like, didn't know what I was going to do. But then I was like, whatever, I'll just work on things I'm not as good at. So I was like, I'll try to improve my cardiovascular strength. I'll train legs twice as hard because I'm probably slack on those, because I'm, like, a guy. I like to push. Like, I like to do push day. Like, I like chest. I like delts. I'm like, let's go. So I was like, you know what? I'll be, like, a girl, and I'll work glutes more, and like, but it's fun because it gives you a totally different feeling. Like, I just like, you have to lift heavy if you want to see changes, and that's probably why I don't like it, because I'm like, I don't want to like squat with like a couple of plates. It seems like a lot. But anyways, when I switched my mindset, I kind of like, it's fun again. It's because going to the gym kind of became like routine after a while. I'm like, yeah, I'm doing progressive overload, and I'm making sure like I'm either doing more sets, more reps, like heavier weights, whatever every time. But this completely, like, shifted it and made it, like, yeah, fun. It's not routine anymore. Like, I'm like, I have to adapt and kind of change things. And I'm, like, enjoying doing cardio again, because, like, I stopped completely. And my coaches were like, you can't do cardio. You're going to lose too much weight.
Yeah.
They were like, literally park as close to the doors as you can. Like, you're not doing that. I'm not joking. And, like, I had an ongoing joke about this, and I'm like, no, like, people would be like, hey, can you walk from here? I'm like, I can't. I was like, drop me off at the door and I'll wait. And, like, but it's, I know it sounds silly, but I fully was like, I can't do it. Like, warming up, nope, I'll walk. Like, that was, like, as much as, like, I would do.
It's like my kind of training.
Oh, it's fantastic. People would laugh at me, but I'm like, I can't. And so, like, my coach would text me, because when I was in BC, I would sit on the spin bike and just read a book, because, like, I do that now at the gym on the stuff where I read my book. But he's like, oh, how much cardio are you doing a day? I'm like, oh, like 40 minutes, because I have so much free time. I wasn't working. He's like, stop. And I was like, okay.
That's the kind of coach I need.
So now I'm back to doing at least like 30 minutes every day, and it feels so good, because it gives you a really different feeling than just training does. Like, training does, you feel exhausted, and like, it's good. But when you do, like, because I don't sweat a lot unless I do cardio, and like, I just really like it. I feel like I actually did something when I do that. So I'm like, I'm enjoying it, and I'm setting like weekly goals. Like, I want to find a way to do, like, I can do a progressive overload that way. I'm not going to run, because I feel like my shoulder's still going to hurt. But
it sucks whenever you run with a bad shoulder.
yeah, that's why I'm just walking down the stairs reading a book. But I've been regaining mobility. The first day I cried trying to do it, and I couldn't lift my arm. That was, again, like, but you're always going to have obstacles, and I think it's just overcoming them, because you can either let them stop you there or push through. Like, I literally cried at the gym because I couldn't do a lat raise with no weight. And then I went home and I cried some more. I thought I was good, and then I was like, I'm never going to get that strength back. And then the next day I just showed up again. Like, you just got to show up, and you got to do it. And, like, It's like you're never going to get better at something, but I was good at it already. But anyways, you're never going to get better at something if you don't keep trying. And that's, yeah. And it makes me happy. Like, or it's that or stay in bed and be depressed. So, you know, I might as well just...
Go to the gym.
Yeah.
Look at the weights. Maybe if I look at them, I'll make gains.
Maybe. I'm just really hoping one day, you know, like I'll find like a nice man at the gym. I'll be like, hey guys, what's up? No. I'm kidding. Sort of. Yeah, that's what. Now I'm like, hey, nervous. Alright.
It's
We
okay.
can move over to good news.
We could. Definitely could. And
Old couple are romantic. What does that mean?
It basically means that a couple has broken the Guinness Book of World Record for the longest marriage.
Aww.
So what's going on is they're in their hundreds, and they've been married since 1941. So that means they've been married for 79 years, and they have 5 children, 11 grandchildren, 21 great-grandchildren, and 9 great-great-grandchildren. Holy frick.
That's as many people that are on Shady Nook.
And basically they're saying, like, respect another, and they're just saying the secret formula is love, maturity, and mutual respect. So I feel like that's a great goal. So I'm hoping to achieve that with my wife one day.
Aww.
Oh, you're halfway there. Maturity is a little bit lacking.
And we'll move on to a kind teenager. So she has been making her own business by creating dolls that look like someone who might have a rare disability. So you always find those dolls that relate to you, and then that's why you hold on so tight to them, according to this girl. But she went out of her way to hand stitch children who look like they have disabilities for those rare disability children to connect with a doll. So I think that's super empowering and beautiful, and so yeah, so good on her. We also have a breakthrough in science going on for spinal cord injuries, and basically what this is it is a drug that repairs damage to the brain and spinal cord. So it can help with Alzheimer's, epilepsy, anything like that. So basically it's a synthetic protein that acts as a molecule bridge, re-establishing neural links destroyed by accident or illness. So the tests so far have been great in mice and in the cells that they've made in the lab. So yeah, so we'll hope that this becomes everyday science and everyday medicine that can be affordable and help those in need. So great for them. So getting back to your story, you said you've been motivated for about like 2 years now, and
Consistently, yeah.
We've heard about your struggle and your story, which thank you again. I just wanted to say that. So we appreciate you coming on.
No problem.
And I'm clicking buttons. It's okay. So I guess now it's my turn to tell you how I got where I am today. So let me just clear my throat. So as every good story goes, it starts with a girl.
Pretty much.
Yeah, so the story just starts out, I was dating a girl just out of high school. She was a couple years younger than me, and we just thought it could work, but I didn't go to college right away. I didn't get a job right away. I just basically stayed at home with my parents waiting for her to be done school so I could go and spend time with her. Kind of like what you were saying with your dependency on your significant other.
I drove to New Hampshire every weekend during my undergrad because he played D1 hockey at Dartmouth, and you know, Ivy League has priorities over mine. I understand.
Yeah.
So
I was only 19, and my life just revolved around her, so I thought, you know, that was normal. I thought it was a normal situation, and I thought one day I was going to marry this girl. So I felt ready, and then, as they say, stuff hits the fan. So 7 months into our relationship, she told me she was moving away. But before that, she told me she was pregnant. Yeah. Which is weird because we had sex on her period. So it was like, I mean, at the time I was naive, like, yeah, I guess it could happen. I don't know how biology works. But yeah, so I spent the entire summer just like hanging out with her, having this like fantasy of us being together with the baby. I was gonna like move down there and just raise the baby with her, and it's just yeah. So a few weeks before she moved, she was having stomach pains, which is obviously not good for a pregnant woman.
Yeah.
She was about 5 weeks pregnant at the time, according to her. And then she went to hospital, and she was told she had a miscarriage. So that was hard on both of us, but especially her. She always wanted to be a young mom, because her mom was also a young mom, and she was only 17 at the time, so we figured we could make it work. But then she moved away, and I decided to stay here, get a job, raise up the money, and build that relationship, so eventually I could move down there and be with her. And we FaceTimed, and I guess at this point in the story I should mention that she's a hardcore Christian, and I'm not at all. I mean, I was raised around it, but I never really developed it into my own life. But she tried so hard to convert me, and she used the no sex till marriage talk on me. So,
Alright.
I mean, obviously we had before, but she just wanted to make me feel guilty. So basically I had to convert to her ways in order to continue on with the relationship. But yeah, we read the Bible every night. We said our prayers together and all that religious fun things that couples do together.
Okay, sweetie, it's Bible time.
Yeah. We did
It's a nice good night story.
Now let's
like-
sin.
Yeah, but what I found weird is that she wanted me to tell my parents.
That you were converted?
Yeah.
This seems really ostracizing. Kind
Yeah.
of like just like, no, like, you gotta like, okay.
I don't
Yeah.
feel like that was handled well.
No, but you
And
know,
this was after the baby.
Yes.
Okay.
they did not know about the baby thing at this point.
Okay.
They just knew
So you
that I was
converted.
Christian, apparently. Well, in her eyes, I did. In my head, I didn't. I was just like, yeah, I'll do it. Whatever you want me to do.
Yeah,
and
you
then
just-
I just kind of said it just so I could have sex with 19 and going through things. But yeah, then after that, they told me what they really thought of her. Like, she was manipulative.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of unhealthy,
Right?
like, yeah.
Like 2 minutes into the story, and like, yeah, she's manipulative, obviously. And I was like, here, naive, 19, like, no, what, really? I don't see it. But yeah, after a while of long distance, I decided to visit her. But before I did, she was having troubles with a school friend,
I'm intrigued.
a boy school friend.
She had her own little,
study group going on there.
yeah, study group, we'll call that.
So one night they were doing homework together.
Not reading the Bible together.
Not reading the Bible, yes. Apparently it's like a chemistry test coming up or whatever. But
Yeah, they were working on their chemistry.
But unbeknownst to her, he spiked her orange juice with vodka. So he got her drunk and took advantage of her. And her phone was dead for like 9 hours, so I didn't hear from her. And then the first text that I got in the morning was, he raped me. I was like, okay, a lot has happened up until this point. We can deal with it. So right then and there, I decided that I was coming down.
Yeah, you can't,
Like, yeah, you can't just let that go and not come down. But she wanted me to wait for a while. But there was a bit of a toll and a bit of a strain on our relationship because we kind of kept fighting between.
Oh, yeah. That's a
Yeah.
lot. Like,
Yeah.
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 And you guys already went through, like, a lot, and then...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we, after a while, like a long conversation, we decided to call it quits because at this time I didn't know where her head was at because she was battling all of this depression, and here I am at home battling my own depression because I couldn't be with her. And she's going through this pretty much alone, but she doesn't want to help herself, so she kept hanging out with this guy and not letting me know. So
Yeah.
It's getting sketchy.
yeah,
A lot of red flags. But
Yeah.
you're also young and in love and like
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah. So I mean, I did what I could at that time, and I was at this point going down to see my cousin. She lives in Nova Scotia, which is where she ended up moving to. So, against the wishes of my family, I decided to fly down to Nova Scotia to visit my cousin,
Whereabouts in Nova Scotia?
Halifax. And then I took a bus from Halifax to Greenwood,
Okay.
and that's where she was staying. And then none of
Family
my
was posted to Greenwood. I got you.
yeah. So none of my family knew except for the cousin I was staying with, and even he said it was a bad idea because at the time we didn't even get back together yet. We were just kind of talking. So I wanted to go down there and kind of surprise her, and you know, one thing led to another. We, let's say, got back together. By that I mean sex. Obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so we had that, and then I left the next morning, as one would do on a, I don't want to call it a one-night stand, but
like a hookup.
I get
Like,
back
it's like a-
together.
yeah.
It was.
You
a
have to
get back
leave. You can't
together.
just stay forever. Like you're not like, okay, this
Yeah.
is my house now.
It was like my cousin's birthday, like the next day, so I had to go. Needless to say, but she made me feel horrible about it. Obviously,
Yeah.
because she said that she felt used. She only wanted to have sex. I mean.
I understand, like, when you're, like, a little, like, I understand girls, like, I have friends that are like that, but, like, what do you expect? Like, they can't just stay forever. Like,
Yeah.
you have to
But that's a
go.
romantic gesture.
Right?
Dropping your entire life, quitting your job,
Yeah,
and
just stay in
moving
bed.
somewhere.
Which is, I was willing to do that because
You're a nice guy.
I'm a nice guy, and a few weeks go by and she tells me she missed her period.
Again, this is,
Yeah,
like,
again, yes. So, and again, we had sex on her period. So I was like, how do you, Second time,
Science is
second time is a little more confusing for this gentleman here who maybe knows another thing or two about biology now since the first incident. But but yeah, so I told her to wait for me to take the test, but she took it in the morning. Then she called me saying that it was positive, but she threw out the test.
Seems sus. Like,
No evidence.
Exactly. I was like, hey, what? Can you go get it? It's like, no, I threw it out. It's like, well, okay. So I just,
take
Take
your word
another
on
one?
it. And then,
yeah, right? But no. No, she's all emptied out the bladder, so apparently she couldn't take another one.
Can't just chug some water and take another one. Like,
That's not how
How
science.
dehydrated
That's not how
is it?
science works. Like, okay.
But yeah, so I obviously didn't want to question her because I didn't want to feel bad and then start an argument, so I just kind of went along with it and I accepted the fact that I would be a dad again.
It's not a funny story, but continue.
Yeah, so I flew back to my hometown and I was continuing working my jobs and just build up some money. And again, same idea. I was going to build up the money, go down, spend time with her, and eventually move in with her, raise a baby as one would in this situation. And we obviously had plans of marriage because when I went down for December, I proposed to her, which I may have left out, but
now we're
now
all
we're
caught
back
up.
full circle. So yeah, I proposed, so engaged with the baby on the way, and her prom was coming up. So perfect timing for me to gather up enough money to go down and eventually stay.
This is like a movie. Like, I'm literally
Yeah.
listening and it just feels like I can
was
close
thinking
my
the same
eyes
thing.
and
I was
like,
like, this would make a really good script.
Unfortunately, it's my life. But yeah, so like a week before I had planned to buy the tickets, she told me again she lost the baby. And in my head, I'm just like, well, now I gotta go. Like, so I just went a week early and, had the time with her, just kind of console her and everything. And prom was coming up, so I felt prepared for that. And yeah, so prom comes around, and guess who's in her friend group?
The guy.
her
guy.
chemistry partner. All right.
So, yeah. So at this point in the story, they've been hanging out still.
That just doesn't make sense to
Yeah.
me.
I blamed it on,
Stockholm syndrome?
yes. That was my kind of vision of it. So maybe she was hanging out with him because she felt guilty and all that stuff. Meanwhile, she was sending nudes to him while at the same
She
time
felt
sending
guilty
them to me.
so
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm so sorry you write me. Here's some news.
Like a nice
Yeah.
mass Snapchat, you know,
Yeah.
one to you, one
Yeah.
to you. Okay.
So yeah, all this was going on behind my back. So yeah, I was gonna go up and like I was ready to kill this guy.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Well, especially because who knows, like, what really happened. And then she's like, that. If I was him, I'd be so mad if it didn't happen.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh
yeah.
man, then you're like,
Yeah.
okay, continue. I want to know how it ends.
But according to one of her friends, like the day after it, like
The incident.
second time, or I don't know, was it the third time maybe? I don't know. There's been a couple times, but after one of those times, her friend noticed that she was looking more chipper, more happy. Yeah. So I don't think it was anything to do with
unconsensual?
unconsensual sex. I think she was cheating on me.
That's such a, like, just.
Yeah.
Well, that could ruin more than just one life.
That's what I was
Yeah.
gonna say. Like, just break up and then just, like, don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, accusing somebody of rape too.
That's what
ends
I'm
their
saying.
life.
That's,
Yeah.
like.
Like,
This girl
that's-
sounds, like a keeper.
Right? Needless to say, I left and I felt dissatisfied with our relationship, so I called it quits for the second time and last time.
And then, did you ever hear from her?
Every now and again, she pops up, but like as soon as I'm getting into that position in my life where like I'm happy, I'm untouchable, she like pops up. It's like, hey. It's like, no, not today. You are the literal incarnation of the devil. Go away.
stop ruining my Whopper Wednesday.
So yeah, so then the conclusion to the story is that after, in my personal point of view, 2 fake pregnancies, 2 fake miscarriages, an unwanted conversion to Christianity, having to stop myself from killing her rapist, and having found out that she was sending nudes behind my back, there was a lot that, you know, got a little up in there, and some of it may have stayed, but I'm getting better.
You work on it day by day.
Exactly. After 5 years of therapy and self-love, and
Did you send her the bill?
man, I wish that was like thousands of dollars.
No, right?
God. But yeah, so here I am. I am who I am because of this, and I ended up finding a nice, beautiful, and actual pregnant
She's over there.
wife.
Not faking it.
And we're looking to buy our first home together. So the struggle has taught me the value to love myself, and whoever loves me will love me for me and will not want to change a single damn thing about me. And I just want to say that, like, if we can go through struggles like that, and I'm sure Travis has his own struggle story over there.
Cass trying to refrain from laughing out loud.
Yeah. Like, we've all dealt with depression and anxiety, and possibly some of us to the verge of killing ourselves, but we ended up getting through it. We got the help we need, whether it was a therapist or a friend to rely on, or even another significant other to help you pull through. It's just one of those things that if you're in it right now, you can tell yourself that there's light at the end of the tunnel, and you don't need to be in a situation forever. It's just a moment in your life that will pass, and you will find a way out, hopefully in a healthy way. Unlike this one over here, binge drinking. No, just kidding. But yeah, and then
Learn from it.
Yeah,
You do. You grow, and then you learn who you are. And I think if more people were open about talking about it, I think a lot of people revert to bad things over good because they feel like they're the odd ones out. But in reality, like, almost anyone I've ever talked to has gone through like big struggles, and people just don't talk about it. And, like, I get it's not, like, something to be proud of, but I think if you address it, you can move on in a healthier way and, like, grow from it. But if you're just suppressing what actually happened, like, I don't think you're ever actually going to get better. Whatever, like, the situation, like, I think it can be applied to, like, almost any situation. Like, I think you just need to accept it and then, like, choose to let go and, like, I don't know.
Like when you can't do those lat pull downs, switch to leg day.
Exactly.
Yeah, like when you're halfway through, like, crying, like, after you're, like, won't go up. Yeah, I'm like, okay, we're going to squat instead. It's all good.
Yeah.
But
there's
no.
always that solution.
And I think it's, like, again, beautiful that you found, like, someone who actually, like, cares about you and, like,
She's a
isn't.
tough girl.
She's like, yeah, whatever.
She's on Pinterest right now looking for new things to crochet.
No, but I just think it helps you discover who you are and what you like and what you want to be around going through that. You saw what you didn't want, which just brought you to this. And I think it's cool.
Exactly.
I like that.
And it'll happen for you too, eventually.
Yeah, that's why I'm just going to keep going to the gym. I'll find, like, a nice...
Exactly. Nice ripped dude. Just like, hey. In a nice, like, deepest voice, like, hey, you want to lift? And, you know, I'm done.
Screw date night, lift night.
Yeah. Oh, man. No, honestly, people have asked me, they're like, can you go for a Diet Coke? Because they're like, I feel like you don't eat anything. Like, a diet. And I'm like, I'll eat. Like, I'm good. But, you know, Diet Coke's nice too, I guess. Beggars can't be choosers, so it's fine. Yeah.
So families out there, Diet Coke's the way to our heart.
It was creative. I liked, like...
What if it's a Diet Pepsi?
Bro, don't even. They're the same.
Coke girl? She's like, no. Coke only.
Did you want to say this last part for the another podcast, or do you think we got some time to get through it?
Your choice, man. You're the DJ.
I
You're
think
the
we'll
MC.
I think we'll end it for tonight. Just we'll give you a good dad joke hosted by Travis.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah,
I haven't found one yet.
You can take control of the computer.
Come on, say something. Deflect. Till I can find it.
I'm going to be a dad, so I'm going to need all the help I can get. So this is practice for sure.
Why did the math book look so sad?
Why?
Because of all of its problems.
It's funny because it's relatable.
That was too real. That was too real. What kind of shoes do ninjas wear?
What?
Sneakers.